like the one in Yogananda's book. Suddenly Sheikh Karakani appeared, riding a lion, firewood stacked behind him. His whip, a live serpent. He used a serpent as a whip, but he probably doesn't whip the lion. Every Sheikh rides a fierce lion, whether you see it or not. He means there could be also an invisible lion. Means he has conquered the negative force, has conquered the fierce nature. The Sheikh in the old time is a title bestowed upon somebody who is saintly, who is enlightened. So he said here, every Sheikh rides a fierce lion, whether you see it or not. Know this with your other eyes. Your other eyes. He said, even if you don't see a Sheikh riding a lion, you should know that. You should see it with your spiritual eyes. There are thousands of lions under your teacher's thighs, and all of them stacked with wood. He realized some truth about that saintly person. Mean he has as his command anything he wants. Karakani knew the problem and immediately began to answer. Well, it is not out of desire that I put up with her. He didn't ask anything. But the Sheikh already knows what is in his heart, so he said immediately, well, it's not out of desire that I put up with her. Don't think that. It's not her perfume or her bright colored clothes. Enduring her public disdain has made me strong and patient. Wow. I told you, people scold you, they're good for you. They cut in some of your ego. If you feel humiliated by someone, just thank God for that. Some people cannot bear it, I know that, even from a teacher or from parents. Look at Noah's son. He could not bear that because the ego is too strong and the negative power is too much in him. So we should not learn to be like that. Truly, one day, maybe when you get older, think of all the upheavals in your life or the retribution that's being thrown on your path. You will feel, oh, how lucky I have been to be trained with the merciful hand of heaven, so that I have become humble, become nothing. Because in becoming nothing, you're becoming great. You become your true self. You're no pretentious, nothing to lose anymore. You're completely free, free of clinging to false pride and prejudice and pretentious reputation, whatever all that rubbish is. Anyway, so this Sheikh is truly enlightened. So he said, it's not because he desires her or because she's pretty that he put up with this woman, but because he endured all that, so that he can become strong and patient. She is my practice, he said. Nothing can be clear without a polar opposite present. Two banners, one black, one white, and between them something gets settled. Between Pharaoh and Moses, the Red Sea. The Egypt story, that is the thing that separates them. The opposite. Because if the army of Egypt did not run after Moses and his people, then he would have never experienced that miracle, the power that he has. The sea opened for them to cross and close it in front of their enemies, or even close the enemies within the sea as well. So, you consider issues, but not deeply enough. It's just a critical mind, but don't understand the thing. Your spring is frozen. Faith is a-flowing. Don't try to forge cold iron. Study David, the ironsmith and dancer and musician move into the sun. You are wrapped in fantasy and inner mumbling. When spirit enters, a man begins to wander freely, escaped and overrunning through the garden plants, spontaneous and soaking in. Now, that's a miracle story. He said, despite all this, it doesn't matter to him because he's free inside. It's like a man, when the spirit enters him, he begins to wander freely, escape and overrunning through the garden plants, spontaneous and soaking in. He's bathing in God's love and grace and bliss. He's oblivious to whatever, the trouble of the world. Not to talk about wife of his, no matter what she says. He takes it as a training, as a practice of humility and patience. And that's how he became great. It's just like a piece of useless iron has to be burned into hundreds of degrees of heat in order to soften, and then be beaten relentlessly until that piece becomes something useful. And even not yet completely. You have to really sharpen it until it become a truly cutting knife. And even then, every day you still have to sharpen a little bit here and there. Hence, daily meditation. So, sometimes people complain like this and that person and keep telling me what to do and I don't like it. Just like it. Just do it. If it's correct, then do it. And never mind your mood. If it's not correct, then just tell her, I'm sorry, give me another job. Something like that. And be thankful in your heart that somebody sharpened your knife. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this story. Thank you, Rami, as well, for leaving us such a treasure. A good book is hard to find already. Good poem is hard to find already. Good spiritual, nourishing, and morally replenishing is even harder to find. This kind of books we could read all the time. It will just foster more our spiritual endeavor, foster love and humility, understanding, patience. It's a very good book, good poem.
She loved you so much. And she said, please make me a favor. Tell your master how much I love her. So she says her spiritual school is very, very high. I told her that her heart is leading, is showing her the way. Thank you. I will tell her. She'll be very, very happy.
It's the same. They also practice light and sound.
She is very high ranked in the organization in Greece. But she loves you so much that she says, I've never felt this kind of love for anyone.
Some people know it. She doesn't know. Not that I told them. They know. Some people in that organization know. That's why she loves me. Because I'm there.
She considers you her master. She's doing it as a habit because she's doing it for 12, 13
it's okay.
years.
Tell her we are one. I in that organization is one. Don't worry about it.
All right.
I'll take care of it. Just a second.
It was a pleasure to have you with us today for Between Master and Disciples. Please stay tuned for Healthy Living, up next, right after Noteworthy News, here on Supreme Master Television. May Providence grace your life with tranquility and divine love.